Charlesworth. David, go ahead.
Thanks, Danny. Hi, Mark.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Yourself?
Good, thanks.
Excellent. I was just wondering how you reflect on the test portion of the summer. You played the one out of the 6. Did you expect to play more at the start, and was it a bit frustrating that you didn't get to play it more?
Yeah, it's frustrating when you don't play. I think, obviously, going in, I'd hoped to have played more after the winter, but it wasn't to be. The lads that played did well, and it was hard for me to force myself in. So I just tried to be, as good a team man as I could be, not moaning and groaning, and give as much energy back to the team as I could from the sidelines.
And how do you feel about the next T20 World Cup being in India instead of Australia?
I'm not that bothered. As long as I'm on that flight and I'm there as part of the squad, that's my goal. I think, conditions, yes, will be slightly different, but it doesn't bother me a whole heap. I just want to try and cement my spot.
And just lastly from me, obviously you and Jofra dovetail quite nicely and seem to bring out the best in each other during the World Cup last year. Is that something that you'll be looking to do for the next 12 months or so, building up to that next T20 World Cup?
Yeah, obviously, I think with myself and Jofra, there's always going to be the comparisons because we're both ball quick. Whether we can both get in the same team is up to the management, but it was exciting to play with him during the World Cup. And like you said, it was sort of a friendly rivalry where he brought the best out in me, and hopefully I did the same for him. So it is exciting when we play together, and one I hope we can do going forward.
Thanks, Mark. Cheers, Danny.
Thanks.
Sam Allard and then John Etheridge, please.
Cool. Hey, Mark, you okay?
Hi, you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Mark, there was an Ashes series last summer, and then England go to Australia in 18 months' time again. But is it always special when you take on Australia, whether it's an Ashes series, whether it's a white ball series? Does it always have that extra special feel to it?
Without a doubt. I mean, it's always good when you play for England. Don't get us wrong, but there's an extra incentive when you play Australia, when you play the biggest rivals. They're desperate to beat you. You're desperate to beat them. It doesn't matter if it's Ashes, white ball, 2020. Doesn't matter what it is. We'll be desperate to beat them. Full credit to them for coming over. We'll give huge credit to the West Indies and Pakistan. So I think we've got to say well done to Australia as well for having, the time and the effort to come across here in uncertain times. But look, when they're here, they'll not be just here to make up the numbers. They'll be doing everything they can. I've already seen at the Ageas, they've had a couple of sort of practice games, I think, with each other, inter-squad games. When we turned up yesterday, they were smashing the ball everywhere. So I don't know if they were just doing it deliberately to try and scare us, but I'll be out to try and stop that as much as I can and stop Australia winning.
And with there being no Joe Root in the T20 squad, does that just show how much strength and depth in the batting department there is at the moment in this England side?
Absolutely. I'm not sure it's just the batting. I think it's the bowling as well. I think we've got a lot of players around the county circuit who are doing really well as well. I think there's lads that have been in the last bubble who have missed out on this bubble who you could say were unlucky. So we've got huge depth around the bowling and the batting. And I hope going forward, I mean, we'll need to use probably everybody going into World Cups with injuries, people in and out of form. So I'm sure everybody will get it going. It'll be important to have that depth come the World Cup.
Thank you, Mark. Cheers.
Cheers.
John, go ahead.
Mark, hi. Did anybody explain to you why you didn't play in any of the last 5 Test matches?
No, I asked the question after the last game. What did I need to improve on? What do I need to get better at to get in the team? And they just said that my training ethic, how I was around the team, they were happy with how I was going about things. It was just a 50-50 call, and they went the other way without me. Of course, I don't. It's frustrating, and you don't want to be the guy that's easily dropped all the time. But there's nothing more you can do. You just got to keep working hard. I'm trying to work on a wobble seam with the red ball. That's something that hasn't come naturally to me, but I'm trying to improve there. And although I actually think I bowled okay the first game, I didn't think I bowled really badly. I just think my luck could have been slightly different. And then if you get more wickets, you might keep your spot. But I'm still in a pretty positive frame of mind. I mean, 2 test matches ago, I was man of the match for England and Johannesburg. So I still think I've got a good part to play going into the winter. It wasn't to be in the summer. The lads I played did well, and that's part of international sport.
Did you find it difficult not being involved? Because I get the impression you're not the sort of person who likes sitting around doing not very much.
Yeah, it's been hard, frustrating. It's it's entirely different being in the bubble as well. The game show, the bubble. There's not much to sort of do apart from go sort of Groundhog Day. You get up, you go across the field, you're back in the pavilion, you're doing your 12th man duties, you're training hard, then you come back to bed. There's nothing much more you can do. So at times it can be frustrating and hard mentally, but we knew that was going to be the case coming in. And when you go home, like the last week I've just had at home before coming into this stuff, it refreshes your mind a little bit. I'm not sure I was totally refreshed when I seen the same hotel room again when I walk back in, but look, it refreshes you a little bit and makes you excited for the next little bit.
Do you know your room number? What's the room number?
352, same room every time.
So it's sort of impregnated on your mind, that number, is it?
Yeah, and some people have left. I mean, Joss left half his stuff here, I think. So he's walked back into the same setup. His computer was still there, his clothes and everything. So some people didn't even go home. I think when I took my bags home, I don't even think I unpacked them. I just left them in the car. So come back into the same stuff.
So I just find there was someone just you had a bit of an injury. Was that a serious thing or not?
Sorry, say that again.
There was some suggestion you'd had a little bit of an injury during the test series. Was that anything serious or not?
No, nothing. I had a bit of a niggle at Old Trafford where I'd landed in a foothold awkward and I'd bruised a little bit of my foot, but it didn't keep me out of selection. I was fit and firing for in the next practice when we came to the Ageas. So no, I was fully fit.
Thanks, cheers.
Okay, Paul and then Lizzie.
Hi, Mark. Just following on from that, do you think sometimes it doesn't help when you're such a nice guy in terms of selection? You know, we saw Stuart react quite angrily when he was left out later in the series. Jimmy was denying quite strongly that he was on his way out. You know, is it sometimes easier to leave out the guys, perhaps like yourself and Wokesy, who are such nice blokes?
I think, is that a compliment? So I'll say thanks first. Cheers. But no, I don't know. You never want to be left out or the easy drop. I guess it's not really my style to I guess shout and scream. I think I went as the coach, Chris Silverwood. I've got a great relationship with him from the bowling coach days to now into the head coach, and just asked him honestly what I needed to do to get in the team and improve. I mean, sometimes you don't get the answer you're always looking for, but he said he was happy. Just I didn't get selected. I think once you know you're not in the team, initially you're disappointed, but from my point of view, you know, you're very lucky to still be in a squad playing for England, and I still feel very lucky to be selected. So I try and give as much energy back as I can to the team. I think that's important. When you're not playing, you try and help the lads that are in the team. Like you guys, I'm a fan of the England cricket team. I want England to win. So when you're not in the team, yes, you're disappointed for yourself, but you quickly switch in to try and give as much back as you can.
And also, presumably, you don't want to be a sort of overseas specialist. You know, you want to play just as much as home. As presumably, that's why one of the reasons for the wobble seam. You know, more skills to make you more as versatile as possible, I guess.
That is it, and my record's much better away from home than it is at home. That's something that is obviously on record, but I'm not going to get that better if I only play away and I don't play at home. So, like I said, I didn't think I bowled that badly in the first game. I thought I bowled, you know, all right, and actually with a bit more luck. I mean, I ran in to average over, I think, 20 odd overs to average 89 mile an hour. It's pretty pleasing from my point of view, having not played for so long. So my pace was up there. It was just one of them days where, you know, things didn't go my way, and maybe I wasn't quite on it as much as I should have been, but I felt good with my bowling. It's just been one of them summers where if I want to get better in England, I'm going to have to add things like the wobble seam, which is something I'm working on to try and get better. The lads that have played did well. I'm trying to learn off, how they bowl. But I'd like to think if the conditions suit me away from home, then I'll get the nod there.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Well, we'll finish with Lizzie and Nick Holt.
Hi, Mark.
Hey,
just
Lizzie.
looking ahead to these 3 T20 matches, what do you see your role in a T20 side? Do you prefer to bowl in the power play or not in the power play? And sort of how different are the skills in terms of what you've just done, red ball, and now you have to sort of transfer into white ball? Is it very different?
Yes and no. I think I'll still be trying to bowl as fast as I can. At times, I think you've got to be adaptable with slow balls, and you've got to watch the batters a little bit more and be a little bit more on it in terms of just having 3 slips in the gully, are you? So you've got to be a little bit more adaptable. I think my role, probably when I first started 50 over cricket, I opened the bowling for England. Then when Jofra played the World Cup with Woakesy opening the ball, and I went to first change and enjoyed that role. So I find it, quite easy whether I've got a ball in the power play or out the power play. It's never easy bowling in 2020, whether you're up front or you're in the middle. They're coming at you 24/7. So I'll be trying my best to do whatever role the captain wants me to do. I didn't bowl very well in South Africa, if I'm honest. I got smacked at every part of South Africa. So the ball landed in, I think, every part of that country. So I've got to do a lot of improvement if I want to get into that team, because I didn't do myself justice there. I actually didn't prepare well, if I'm honest. I came off the back of the test tour where I did well. I went home for a week and didn't do very much. Just wanted to refresh with the family. Hadn't seen my son in a few months. And then when we landed back out there, we had one training day, and then it was play, travel, play, travel, play. And my skills were not quite on it. So I've got to, under a little bit of pressure here, I think, to prove that I deserve to be in this side, because we've got a lot of backup, a lot of depth, and a lot of good bowlers. So if I get my chance, I'll be trying to prove that I've got the skills.
Thank you.
And
Cheers.
Nick, finish off.
Sorry if you've been asked this already. My Wi-Fi dropped out. But can these ODIs and T20s against the Australians have any bearing on the next Ashes series? Can you, as a bowler, shake up a few Aussie batsmen and leave a few memories for them about facing you? A bit like I think Mitchell Johnson did that against England in a one-day series, the back end of that tour in 2015, I think. So would 2013? Can you do that?
I think so. I think that example you've just given, everyone still talks about how rapid he was bowling in that one-day series, and then of course you carry that over to the test matches. Obviously, it's a very different format, it's a very different game, but if you can sort of, get, they'll always be talked about the Broad and Warner situation where he had the wood over him. So if you can start the ball rolling with a couple of players here, I'm sure they'll be thinking about that no matter what the format.
Thank you.
Okay.
Cheers.
Cheers, Woody. Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.